Episode 3, Practice Makes Perfect. Dear listener, welcome back. I can't believe this is already the third edition of this newsletter. So if you're new, you may wish to have a look back at the 2 earlier editions so you're familiar with the concept of wearing your oxygen mask and the first 2 chemicals that we explored. Now, for those of you who are returning, thank you. And in today's edition, we'll be exploring the 3rd chemical in your oxygen mask. But before we do that, I wanted to say something about why it's so important to practice wearing your oxygen mask. And it's this. Your oxygen mask practice is a chance to sharpen the skills that will help you to be more effective in whatever you do. So a metaphor that I like to use here is it's a bit like doing scales when you play the piano. I remember when I was younger, my piano teacher would always get a bit frustrated with me as I never practiced my scales. I couldn't see the point. Surely the point of learning the piano, I thought, is to play nice pieces and make music. But actually I was missing the point because learning scales was a good exercise for my finger muscles. It helped with technique and all kinds of benefits that would have actually helped me to become a better piano player. So in the same way as a pianist would practice scales, not as an end in itself, but as a means to becoming a better piano player, the more you practice wearing your own oxygen mask, the better you will be at empowering others. So let's have a look now at this week's chemical. This week's chemical is intention. So why does intention matter? Well, your intention is simply that which you want to bring about or make happen. You access it by directing your attention towards an impulse inside you, which may take a variety of forms. It might show up as a thought, an image, a feeling. But what's exciting about your intention is that it contains the embryonic form of what you aim to create. It's extremely powerful when harnessed, but also quite energetically expensive. So it makes sense, therefore, to conserve this intention energy for decisions where it's really needed. So there are many articles you may have seen citing how people like Zuckerberg and Obama wear the same clothes every day to save their intention energy for decisions that are more important to them. Now, clearly that's a personal choice. I myself actually like to use some of my intention energy to choose what I wear. It gives me pleasure and it's a form of self-expression. But the point here is that we each have a certain amount of intention energy and we have to make choices about how and where we want to spend it. Now, all of this may sound obvious when I say it out loud, but because your intention is invisible to anyone but you, unless you share it, it's sometimes easy to forget it's there. But it's important to remember because when you act with intention, you're using your innately human capacity for conscious choice. And the reason this matters is because so much of professional life today is pulling you in 1,000 ways. There simply isn't enough time in the day to do it all. I sometimes call this the piece of string nature of modern work. So even if you were to stay in the office 24/7, and I'm not remotely suggesting that you even try, you would not be able to get everything you need to do or want to do done. Now, for many years, I lived under the illusion that if I could just find the right system, I would get everything that I wanted to do done. And once I realised this was a piece of string illusion, and that even if I did sit chained to my desk 24/7, I wouldn't be able to create all the things that I want to create in my business, I set a certain amount of time for content creation, and now I do what I can as well as I can. So in his brilliant and refreshingly realistic book, 4,000 Weeks, Time Management for Mortals, Oliver Burkeman talks about this and he invites us to reassess our relationship with time. He says, the truth is we are finite humans facing infinite inputs and possibilities. There will always be another email, another obligation. It never ends. This, however, is not a cause for despair, but an opportunity to accept our limitations and be more intentional about how we spend our time. He notes that many people don't make these trade-offs because they think if they can just find the right system, there will be a time when they don't need to make any hard choices and they will get everything done. So what's important is choosing to choose, and this can sometimes be uncomfortable and difficult. So how can you get the most intention from your oxygen mask? Well, here's a short guided activity video to help you apply the principle of intention in your own oxygen mask practice. So that's all for now, folks. I hope you've enjoyed this third episode of Wearing Your Oxygen Mask, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, hit the bell on this channel to be notified of new editions, and do also share with anyone you think may find this useful. I'd love you to become part of our growing Career Intelligence global community. It's free, and there's a link for you to click here, and our resources are continually updated. So I hope to see you back for the next episode in 2 weeks' time, and meanwhile, wishing you a career path as unique as you. With all best wishes, Anita. Episode 3: Practice Makes Perfect.